Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mixed Martial Arts. We just had an awesome night of fights. It was Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze, and we're going to start by talking about that main event. So we're joined again by the Judo superhero. Thanks for joining us again. And the main event opened up with Calvin Kattar coming out, putting a lot of pressure on Giga Chikadze, but Chikadze was still getting the better of the striking exchanges, I would say, in the first round. It was extremely exciting, and Chikadze's strikes were highly effective. But then as we were getting into the second round, this is when the action started picking up, and Calvin Kattar really started turning the fight around, putting a lot of pressure onto Giga Chikadze. He was putting a lot of pressure on him. It was starting to look a little bit like the Holloway versus Kattar fight from last year. And it looked a lot like Calvin Kattar was actually taking a page out of Max Holloway's book.
With all of that pressure.
What did you think?
Yeah, the first round, Giga Chikadze was throwing a lot of heat, and it looked like it was really hurting Kattar in the first round. But he slipped early on, and Kattar took him down and controlled him for the rest of the first round. And then once the second round started, Kattar was just hitting Chikadze with so many elbows, including a spinning elbow that really hurt Giga, got him bloodied up. And just from then on, he completely destroyed Giga with tons of elbows and just controlled him for the rest of the fight, really.
And did you think it looked like Calvin Kattar was using a similar strategy that Max Holloway had used on him a year previously? And Bisping actually mentioned that on the commentary for the fight and in the post-fight interview. But it was starting to look a lot like that, really beginning in the second round with Kattar just putting the pressure on Giga Chikadze and really just giving Chikadze no room to breathe. What did you think of that? Do you think it looked like Max Holloway?
Yeah, I think it did. Kattar constantly had Giga moving backwards, constantly on the back foot, no time to breathe, and he really struggled just getting kicks with while he was constantly moving backwards.
Yeah. And he was just putting pressure on him nonstop. It was crazy to see. And another similarity, though, with the Max Holloway fight from last year was that when Holloway fought Calvin Kattar on the first card of 2021, Max Holloway was really discovering how much he loved using elbows. He was landing so many significant elbows on Kattar, something we hadn't really seen from him before that fight. And in this fight, it was extremely similar because Calvin Kattar was also using a ton of elbows. And his coaches were even yelling Stevens repeatedly, which was like a signal for Kattar to use his elbows like he did against his fight with Jeremy Stevens back in 2020 when he KO'd Jeremy Stevens, all beginning with a big elbow to the face of Jeremy Stevens. So every time Calvin Kattar's corner yelled out Stevens, he would throw more elbows. Did you think that was also similar to the Holloway fight? What do you think of the elbows?
I mean, the elbows and the pressure of Kattar were definitely the story of this fight. Those were definitely key factors for him getting this dominant win.
Yeah, the elbows were significant, and they really cut Chikadze up. It was crazy to see. Just a great turnaround fight for Calvin Kattar. So we talked about how it was similar to the Max Holloway versus
Calvin Kattar.
fight, but one fight that wasn't mentioned on the broadcast is that it was very similar to another featherweight fight that we saw. What did you think of that Judo superhero? What was the other fight that you think it reminded you of
I mean, I predicted it before in our last video.
in our pre-fight video?
Yeah, it looked a lot like Brian Ortega's comeback against the Korean Zombie. I mean, both coming off huge beatings from Max Holloway, come back against a great contender, and just a dominant win start to finish for both of them, including a second round spinning elbow that just completely turned the tide of the fight.
Yeah, you're right. Brian Ortega versus the Korean Zombie looks very similar to this fight. Both Kattar and Ortega were coming off of tough losses to Holloway in those return fights, and Ortega landed a lot of elbows. He landed a massive spinning elbow on the Korean Zombie. And this fight, like you said, Kattar did a similar thing. But he landed those spinning elbows repeatedly. So a lot of people were really under evaluating Kattar coming into this fight, weren't giving him much of a chance. But both of us gave him a chance in our pre-fight video, And we were not surprised that Kattar won that. It was an incredible performance. Normally, they say don't bring a knife to a gunfight, but guess what? Kattar brought a knife to the gunfight and he won it. Just like his coaches were saying in the corner, in between rounds 4 and 5, they were saying to continue using his knives, and he did just that.
He continued to cut Chikadze.
In round 5, slashed him with all of his elbows, and he did that repeatedly. And Kattar won the fight with his knives.
I mean, Giga took so much damage in this fight. After the fight, you could see his face was all messed up. And is it too early to say that this might be the fight of the year?
It is pretty early, but you know what? I think that we'll be talking about this at the end of the year for fight of the year, definitely.
I mean, opening up the year with just such a great card, with one of the best main events. Such a great fight.
Yeah, that was amazing. And probably one of the coolest parts is that Kattar won the fight with his elbows. He used his knives to win the gunfight. It was amazing.
Who do you think Kattar should fight next?
Personally, I want to see him fight the loser of the Korean Zombie versus Volkanovski, but I think he's getting there for a title shot pretty soon if he wins a few more. Who do you want to see him fight next?
Yeah, the loser of Korean Zombie versus Volkanovski would be cool. I'm also thinking maybe Yair Rodriguez, who's also coming off a loss, or maybe Brian Ortega also. There's a lot of great matchups for him in the future.
Great job by Calvin Kattar, and Giga Chikadze will be back, I'm sure. But moving on from the main event, in the co-main event, we had Jake Collier versus Chase Sherman. This was a really exciting heavyweight fight. Collier was rocking Sherman on the feet, landing a ton of big punches, and ended up submitting him in the first round less than 2.5 minutes in. What did you think of this fight?
Yeah, they both got rocked early. Just a slugfest. Just an entertaining heavyweight fight.
And that was exciting, and I'm excited to see who Jake Collier will get next because he looks like a promising contender.
Yeah.
But then the third last fight of the night, this one was also very, very entertaining. Brandon Royval versus Rogerio Bontorin. In the first round of this fight, it was so close, but whenever Rogerio Bontorin got Royval down, he was just going for submissions nonstop on the ground, and Bontorin wasn't getting much going there. Royval did get the win, but I want to know, in the first round, did you think that Royval won that round?
No, I did not. Rogerio had top control for the majority of the round. And yes, Royval was constantly looking for submissions off his back, very active. I just think overall the control for almost 3 minutes, I believe, was enough to get the round for him.
So did you agree with the judge's decision? Royval won the fight by split decision. Did you agree with that?
Yeah, I think Royval won 29-28. A lot of controversy in the third round.
Yes.
I thought it looked like Rogerio tapped to the armbar, but the ref did not see it.
Yeah, he didn't. And that is controversial. Perhaps he didn't fully tap yet. He definitely tapped once, though. Looked like he was going for the second tap as well. But like we said, the first round, Bontorin was getting ground control, and Royval was going for the submissions. And then in round 3, Royval was looking great again. He was getting the top control, but he also had a significant armbar on Bontorin that was very tight. And Bontorin did tap once, maybe not enough to end the fight. But what do you guys think? Do you think that was a tap? Do you think Royval should have won the fight there? But in the end, Royval won the fight by split decision. Maybe even round 3 could be a 10-8. Who knows? Considering he nearly tapped out, potentially even the fight should have been stopped there. Maybe that round should have been a 10-8. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. And then we also had in the flyweight division, Katlyn Chookagian versus Jennifer Maia. This was just a great showing by Katlyn Chookagian. Dominant from rounds 1 till 3. I think she was really looking for a finish in this fight, but she still hasn't gotten a finish in the UFC. But you know what? That's not even really relevant to me. I think she's an exciting fighter. She's a very talented and skilled fighter. She has great striking. I think she clearly won this fight, and I believe she is the second best flyweight in the world right now. Perhaps can even beat Shevchenko in the future. Who knows? But what do you think? What did you think of that fight, and what do you think of Chookagian's positioning in the flyweight division?
I mean, she's clearly a level above almost all the other contenders. I really think her and Shevchenko are the two best, and then there's a huge gap between the rest of the division. Chookagian, she is a point fighter. She gets a lot of hate for it, but I personally don't mind. That's her style, and she dominates most of her wins.
Yeah, And tonight was definitely an exciting performance. So great job by Chookagian. And this was just an awesome card. That's our post-fight show for Kattar versus Chikadze. What did you guys think of the card? And what was your fight of the night? What was your favorite fight? What was your favorite performance? Let us know in the comments section. And comment down below who you would like to see Calvin Kattar fight in his return. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow the link in the description to my Twitter page and follow me on there for more frequent mixed martial arts updates. Hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for doing another breakdown with me, Judo Superhero. I hope that you guys enjoyed our post-fight show, and I'll see you in my next video.